there, this is Mariah with 50 Flowers, and today I'm going to show you how to make a floral head crown. So I've gathered a few supplies. I've got my little greenery in 1-inch sections. I've got my big dramatic focal flower. I've got a smaller white filler flower. I've got binding wire to create the base and hold the crown together. This is what we're going to tape everything onto. I've of course got my cutters and my scissors, and I picked out a nice satin ribbon, and we're going to add this little bow to the back. Okay, so to start your floral crown, grab your binding wire, and I measured this against my head, and I don't want it to sit too low and I don't want it to sit too high. So I bring it around and I measure it roughly where I'd like it. Let's bring it about right there. Okay, that feels nice and snug. So I know that this is how long I need it to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple layers of this binding wire just to strengthen it. Let's go with 4. Great. Give that a snip. And then the way that this flower crown gets connected is one side is going to be straight and one side is going to be a loop. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this side. And then on this side we've got our loop. I've got it lined up. And a great way to get this base started so you know your flowers are going to stick to it is I grab my floral tape here and I leave that loop maybe about 1/4 inch right there, and you just start taping down the whole length. This is going to help it stick to your head, just like silicone helps things stick to your counter, and it's going to glue those. When you tape on the flowers, it's going to help them stick to each other and stay secure and safe. They're not going to come out of the flower crown. Great. Next, to start your flower crown, you're going to want to start with the greens, and I will just lay the stem along here. I'm going to try and get it as close to this loop as possible because when you link them together, it's going to hide that in the back. The bow will help with that, but it's just if you don't want to do a ribbon, that's how you make that look seamless. And the great thing, or what we do with flower crowns, is we layer them, and I like to tape in between because it's going to lock everything in. And I like to alternate between greens and the flowers, and we will just start taping them on. Sometimes you can do them together. Sometimes I think some greens want to be taped down with a green, just like that. Sometimes I think they want to be apart. I'm just manipulating it how I want it to look, having fun, and designing it in the way that I think it will twist on my head and look the best. Okay. And I like to group them kind of close together because if you don't, you're going to have open spots and the flowers are just going to stick out really wide, and it doesn't look as seamless as you want it to. So just pay attention to that. Yeah. See how I am spacing those just ever so slightly apart. The bottom of the flower is coming in with this green. And soon I will bring in my big focal flowers, but not yet. I just want to start a base here with these greens and filler. Okay, yeah, look at that. And it doesn't have to be just a stem. You can tape the leaf on there. It'll add to the look. It'll make it look nice and bushy and full. Okay. There we go. Great. Okay. Just a couple twists around to keep it secure. Okay. I think I'm going to bring in one of my focal flowers. I'm just going to give it a quick look over, get rid of those guard petals. Fluff it up, pull some petals out ever so slightly, and we're going to lay that guy down and then tape him on. Okay. Don't get too close to the stem because you can almost pinch it and pinch the blue petals off of the stem, but you want to give it enough that when this curves, see how it's already starting to get this natural curve? When it's curving, there's no big spot here. It's sitting there, filling it in, like the greens or the other little filler flowers would. Okay, next. I'm gonna position these to just kind of accent. And then like I said, you can tape the leaves here. You don't have to just do the stem. This is gonna help fill things out and make it bushier. All right, so you're gonna wanna alternate between your greens, your filler, and your focal flower until you get to the very end. When you get to the end, it's gonna look like this. I see I've got it open, I've got my nice greens at the top of my loop, and I've got my straight side. I am going to link these together, clamp it down, and those greens are gonna hide it ever so slightly, but if you want a little more help hiding it, I've made this little ribbon bow, and I will go ahead and attach this, covering this loop and latching device I've made. And make sure you don't get any of the flowers in there. You don't want to crimp them and stress them out. Okay, and I've got a little bit of trailing. I just love the way that looks on any flower crown. And there we go. Go ahead and put this on. That's exactly where I wanted it to fit on my head. It comes down on the back side. It feels secure up here. It doesn't feel like it's just sitting on the top of my head. And I've got my little ribbons trailing in the back. I've got my little hooking device hidden. All right, so that is how you make a flower crown. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below if you want to know how to make other flower crowns or any kind of floral arrangement. Make sure to hit the bell so you're notified the next time 50 Flowers makes a video. I'm Mariah with 50 Flowers. Thanks for watching.